Cardinal Dolan speaking out about a critical year for the Catholic Church, the so-called Year of Mercy.
This revealing interview in the first in our new series of reports, Finding Faith. Here's Sharon Crowley.
Under the steeples of St. Patrick's Cathedral opens a door of mercy, a symbol holding a serious message, one coming straight from the Pope. 2016 is the Year of Mercy. This Year of Mercy comes at a time when the Church is struggling to grow its congregations and convince lapsed Catholics to return to their faith.
Hi. Thanks for coming.
One of the most powerful religious leaders in New York City, Timothy Cardinal Dolan, the Archbishop of New York, sat down with me at his residence to talk about sin and second chances.
There's no sin that is unforgivable.
What does the Year of Mercy mean?
I guess Pope Francis is worried that a lot of people have this caricature of God of being mean, angry, vengeful, petty. That's anything but the truth. God has told us, I am rich in mercy.
Pope Francis grew up just outside Buenos Aires. Biographers say he discovered his vocation to the priesthood after going to confession as a boy when a priest took mercy on him.
He's a man on a mission. There's a sense of urgency about Pope Francis. You might see him. He's hyperkinetic. He doesn't let up. He's 79 years old. He's got some health problems, not major, thanks be to God. And he said openly, I don't think my pontificate's going to be that long. So, boy, he wants to seize the moment.
Why did the Pope pick 2016 as the Year of Mercy?
He knows that the Church itself needs mercy. The Church is hurting. The Church has been scarred by scandal, by sin, by people leaving.
So does the Year of Mercy forgive for what you've already done, or does it forgive in this year?
Pope Francis would use this Year of Mercy to remind us of a constant in church teaching, namely that there's no sin that is unforgivable, that all God wants to hear us say is, I'm sorry, and I'm going, with your grace and help, I'm going to try my best not to sin again. We'd be much better off if we'd lower the volume and stop with the recriminations and speak about reconciliation. So I think even the world out there is going to say, yippee, I'm glad somebody's talking about this.
What can non-Catholics take away from Pope Francis's Year of Mercy?
Even if you're not a believer out there in the world, you need to know that the human person is at his or her best when he or she acts with mercy and tenderness.
What can they be forgiven for?
We need personally mercy. We need God to say, thanks for owning up to things. I love you, I forgive you, and I'm going to help you do better. So when Pope Francis speaks about mercy, it's a give and take. We get it, we give it. He wants us to be merciful to others. Forgiveness and mercy, when we receive it, it brings out the best in us. We sure do know that the world needs mercy. We look around and we see racial divide. We look around, we see religious divide. We look around even in our cities and we see violence, people throwing rocks, people killing each other. Mercy's not a bad idea for all of us.
Once you entered those famous doors on Fifth Avenue, you became an official New Yorker.
New Yorkers met the popular pontiff during his East Coast visit in September, showing his signature spontaneity, jumping from the Pope-mobile, shaking a hand or kissing a baby. The Pope's obvious compassion for the poor charmed admiring crowds. Cardinal Dolan helped host the Pope during his visit.
I think Pope Francis is popular because he could care less about being popular. Does that make any sense? He simply is who he is. There's a simplicity and a sincerity about him. I was with him in that Pope-mobile, okay? He's looking out at hundreds of thousands of ecstatic people, and he just smiles and greets them and kind of shrugs to say, I can't figure out why they love me so much, but I'm glad they do, and I sure love them.
Aww.
I know, it's great. Cardinal Dolan says the Pope wants the so-called lapsed Catholics to consider giving the Church another chance in this year of mercy. The Cardinal says this is the perfect time to ask for forgiveness and then let it go. He doesn't believe people should wallow in guilt. And it's a message that resonates for non-Catholics as well. And the Cardinal says, especially in this year, this election year, I should say, he thinks we should tone down the rhetoric.
It's a great counterweight to all the acrimony we see being thrown around, for sure. Yeah.
And not only does the Church, want people to consider forgiving themselves, forgiving the Church, but they want to have people extend mercy to other people this year as well.
Well said. Well said. Thank
Good
you.
deal.
I really enjoyed that.
Thank you.